Right, now that we've written on or annotated our exam paper, we now need to move on to actually producing the query as we stated in the last video. Okay, so the way I create the query is I go into my database, I then go to create using the query wizard. Okay, so I go to create, then choose the query wizard. I then go to click on OK. Always in the query, always add all the fields. Always make sure that you add all the fields. Okay, then go to next. And then choose finish. Make sure that well, it's good practice anyway to make sure that you annotate or change the name of the query. So what I'll do is hopefully once I've done the query, I'll go back and change the name of the query so I don't get confused later on. Okay, so I've done that. It looks exactly the same at the moment. So if I scroll across, we can see here that my database looks exactly the same as the table. But this is different because here we've created the query. So if I right mouse click on top of the tab over here, so right mouse click on top of the tab, then go to design view, here this is where we can see what the query looks like, okay, or how we can choose the fields or basically query the database. So I always say, ladies and gents, always click run first, okay, and see what the data looks like. Okay, so always look at the data from here. So if I go back to the exam paper, so here's the exam paper that we've annotated. In here, so if I look at the first query, it says contains a new field called income, which is calculated at runtime. This field will calculate the price multiplied by the number. Okay, so all I do here, ladies and gents, okay, is I basically copy this. This is ready for me now. All I type is this, but type it into a new field over here. So I go to my design view. Okay, I then scroll across. Okay, I go to a new field over here, and I basically type exactly what I annotate on top of the exam paper. So I type income, followed by colon, then I, in square brackets, price, multiplied by number in square brackets. I literally write exactly the same thing into the query. Okay, so I go back into the database, and I'm going to drag this field to make it a little bit wider. I then type income, colon, square brackets, price multiplied by number. Price multiplied by, and in square brackets, number. Okay, you have to make sure that the names and spellings are exactly the same as they are in the table. Okay, just a word of note, ladies and gents. Can you see over here how each of the fields is also in square brackets? Because we're referring to this field in the J9 sales database. So I'm referring to the tour. So for example, in here, the tour is referring to this field over here. Okay, so once I've done that, now in here, ladies and gents, remember, it says which is calculated at runtime. Look at if we go into Access, now that I've done the query, if I click run, so this is the time I click on run. So I click run, and over here, ladies and gents, we should see a new field that does the price, this price here, multiplied by this number. So $399 multiplied by 2 equals 798. So I would actually visually check the data or the calculation to make sure that it looks correct. Am I happy with this so far? Yes, I am. Okay, so far so good. Okay, so that's the first part. Then what I would do is I would go into the exam. I would then highlight the color or change the color of I would change the color of this. So, or I would tick it or put a line through this over here. So I would over here. I'm just going to write done complete. Okay, so I don't need to worry about this anymore. Okay, so that's the first query done. Now I need to move on and do the second part of the query, which shows only the records where the week is 37. Now, before I start typing 37 into any of these fields, okay, what I would do first is I would go back into run. I would then look at the data. Where is 37? What is it that the examiners want me to do? So in here I can see under week, we can see 37. Can I see 37 anywhere else? No, I can't. Okay, then I go back and read the exam question again. Always make sure that you're going back and reading the exam question. So in here it says shows only the records where the week is 37. Okay, I've seen the number 37 under the week, so I'm pretty sure it's under the week field. Okay, so I go back into it, I then double check it, ladies and gents. I go to week, this is the field, okay, here I can see the number 37. I can see the number 37 in the week field. I then go back to the design view, I then scroll across, okay, find the week field, ladies and gents, okay, it has to be under the same field because far too many students make the mistake of, for example, typing 37 in the price field. Okay, so in here I'm going to type 37. I then click run. Okay, and then I double check to see if it's done correctly. So I look at the week. Does it show me week 37? I scroll down. Yes, it does. Then I scroll across and I double check. Does it show me the income field? Does the income field look like it's price? Okay, multiplied by number. Yes, it does roughly. Okay, so that's fine. I'm happy with that now. Now, ladies and gentlemen, once we've done that, we can then close our query, save it, and this is where we rename the query. So in here, so this is my query here, shows me week 37. Okay, all I'm going to do here, ladies and gents, I'm simply going to go into the query and I'm going to rename my query. So it was week 37, so that I know what to refer to later on. Am I happy with that so far? Yes, I am. Okay.